a disappointment for everybody, for us as well. But there are still a number of measures, of safety measures that need to be adopted and implemented by the Civil Aviation Authority to ensure minimum standards of safety.
छोरा बुहारी सक्सेस भएको देख्न पाए, अरू के नै चाहिन्छ र उनले। यसो नाति नातिना पनि खेलाउन पाए, अझ कति खुसियाली छौँ यो परिवार।
यो तिमीहरूले मसँग लुकाउनु पर्ने कुरा नै होइन नि, पहिला नै किन नभनेको? हार्दिक IVF सेन्टर छ नि।
बाजोपन सम्बन्धी कुनै पनि समस्या समाधानका लागि सम्झनुहोस् हार्दिक IVF and Fertility Center, where miracles come to life.
The European Union's ban on airlines from flying in EU skies, and this is something that has been with us for a while. Your take on it?
The Nepal has been on the air safety list since 2013. We have, let me make one thing very, very clear. It's our joint objective to get Nepal off the list.
Yes.
Because it's perhaps the sole irritant in our relationship, but also because we want Nepal to have, to grow in tourism and to be able to cater for our tourists. So I think, the objective is in no doubt. We've had an assessment mission that came in 2023 in September, really hoping that, conditions would be mature enough to take Nepal off the list. And that it wasn't the case. It was a disappointment for everybody, for us as well. But there are still a number of measures, of safety measures that need to be adopted and implemented by the Civil Aviation Authority to ensure minimum standards of safety. And this is a purely technical issue. It's about the safety of passengers, be they the Nepali, and most of them are Nepali, or foreign tourists.
Your Excellency, 2025, we might see a breakthrough in this, hopefully?
We are in 2025.
Towards the end of this year, by the end of this year. It's been going on since 2013, so hopefully by the end of this year, maybe. I'm just hoping.
I think it will take a little bit of more time to put the measures in place. I think the recommendations from that assessment mission were very clear. There's been a corrective action plan developed by CAN to address these issues. It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah.
But hopefully, in the next couple of years, we'll be able to have some movement on that.
No, that's going to be great to know, and that's going to be something that's going to be very exciting for not just for us, but for all of us. I'm talking about us together. That's going to be very exciting for all of us together. I want to touch base on, like I mentioned earlier, I want to touch base on economy, and that's something that's very big with you as well. Tourism is a big part of what we do. I'll leave remittance for a later conversation. You've traveled the world. You've seen the potential that we have. You've seen not just China and India, but we have friends from Europe. We have friends from all around the world coming here. Big potential in tourism. Any suggestions, any specific things, key areas that EU is working towards with us, and what else could we do together?
So we've never worked in tourism, to be frank. The potential is huge. It hasn't been fulfilled. In fact, we've gone backwards. If you look at the expenditure per tourist, it has fallen by 50% over the past decade. So that needs to be addressed. I think there are a lot of low-hanging fruit in terms of developing certain areas. And the development is integrated. It's about infrastructure, so roads. It's about accommodation, good accommodation of a good level. What you want to be attracting is tourists, more like me, middle-aged, with more financial means.
Yeah.
These are the tourists who spend. And so to target these tourists is the
Infrastructure.
The thought has to go around how to attract these tourists. So it's about infrastructure, it's about hotel infrastructure, it's about
road transportation.
The road transport. It's also about activities around those areas. And I'll give you an example. We went for a long weekend to Ilam.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Absolutely. No infrastructure. I mean, we found a beautiful little villa, very comfortable. So we were, it was a perfect accommodation. But there were no trails, and it's such a beautiful area. It's enough to have a map, a couple of guides who map out the region and construct a 3-4 day circuit for the tourists who come. And I'm sure there would be a lot more tourism. And the roads are good, from Japa to Fikal, which is where we stayed. It makes sense. But that's not, we found our own way, but it would have been, immediately more attractive if you have these few elements put together.
So something in the future that we could collaborate and work on together when it comes to tourism in the future? More things we could do together?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, sometimes it's small elements and small contributions. I always like to say that, the owner of these developments is Nepal. It has to be. We come in as support, as providing ideas, as contributing little elements for things to hang together.
Initiation definitely has to come with us, and it will. Your Excellency, something different that I want to touch base on. World is changing, not just us, but the whole planet is changing. It's all going into, I don't have a phone right here, but everything is phone. I come from a television and radio, newspaper generation, but now everybody reads everything on a cell phone. I'm sure you do the same as well. A lot of misinformation and disinformation going on. A lot of fake information with the technology, with the use of technology as well, with artificial intelligence. Somebody could replicate my voice right now or replicate the conversation that we are having as well. Is it an area for concern? You feel like that we should be doing more on information, how it's being broadcasted, and misinformation and disinformation?
Absolutely. This is an area of huge concern for us, for the European Union. To give you an idea, my organization, so the European, not the European Union in total, but the External Action Service, so the foreign ministry, if you want, of the European Union, is victim of over 30,000 cyber attacks and attacks and misinformation, disinformation attacks every year. 30,000. That's what we deal with. And it's going to increase because the war we have at our door, the war of aggression of Russia in Ukraine, is a hybrid war. And it includes and focuses very much on cyber attacks, on generating misinformation, disinformation, on interfering with the political dynamics in member states, as we've seen. And we expect this only to grow. This is in the European Union, but I think the same applies to Nepal. It is in all countries. All our partner countries are vulnerable to this kind of attack, and it needs to be given a very, very careful and considerate attention.
What's the future going to be like? That's something that I think about in terms of people consuming content. And again, that's something that big organizations think about as well. What content is going to be provided to the people and what they're going to believe or what they think it's true. And that's something big, not just here, but globally as well. How is it going on in Europe when you think about it? Is there any kind of measures that's been put in place for misinformation, or with AI technology that's coming? That's right. It's right in our doorstep, and we don't know what's coming tomorrow. Nobody envisioned ChatGPT a couple of years ago, and here we are with ChatGPT to DeepSeek. What do you think is going to happen in the future, even though we don't have a crystal ball?
So I think, nobody expected that 2 years ago. But what I'm very proud of is that the European Union was the first to try and regulate these areas, understanding the potential threat. So the data protection legislation that the European Union has developed, the packages on AI as well, is at the forefront, really cutting edge of legislation that we have. And we put this at the disposal of all our partners. It's kind of not open source, but we promote, we would like our partners to take advantage of what exists already, not to have to reinvent the wheel, because it's such a huge threat. So we're very well aware that this threat will increase, that it needs to be regulated, that we need to impose obligations of fact-checking on operators, and this is what the European Union does. It's sometimes criticized, but I think it's absolutely necessary.
तपाईले हाम्रो क्लिप एकदमै एन्जॉय गर्नुभयो होला। अब पुरै भिडियो हेर्नको लागि चाहिँ YouTube मा सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला।
Vyas Media Network.